Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Brown School Philosophy podcast. Today, I'll be sharing my essay on the philosophy of life and death, inspired by Matt Haig's novel, The Midnight Library, as well as the ideas of Albert Camus and Jean-Paul Sartre. This assignment allowed me to explore what it means to live a good life and how our choices shape our existence. In my essay, I reflect on my personal journey of finding happiness through meaningful relationships, self-improvement, and acts of kindness. I also delve into the philosophical concepts presented in The Midnight Library, where the protagonist Nora Seed explores alternate versions of her life and learns to value her present existence. The Brown School of Philosophy. Growing up, I never knew what living a good life meant to me. Always having to wake up, go to school, sleep, and repeat the same boring cycle for years to come. I could really feel in those cold, foggy mornings the way to school, the deep sadness I had walking to the school building, waiting to go back home. Sitting in class, thinking to myself, will all my efforts in school benefit me living a good life? The way I found on how to live a happy life for me was finding the right people to hang around with, hanging out with my mom and dad whenever I had the chance, and going to the gym trying to be the best version I could be. The questions I kept asking myself to relate to questions someone could ask in philosophy. In Matt Haig's novel, The Midnight Library, Albert Camus and Jean-Paul Sartre's idea that searching for life's meaning keeps a person from living relates to my philosophy of life and death. The Midnight Library uses philosophy of Nora seeing herself taking different routes of decisions of her living a good life relating to myself imagining other versions of me taking a different path. Everything that has ever happened has led you to this place of now. Having a clear view on life, seeing both the positives of life and death is key on being successful to live a good life. For example, Nora Seed gets to explore what it feels like to experience these alternate versions of her life and death. Nora, when she steps inside the library, different books show ways of her life could have been. The notion of this philosophy gives questions about significant choices someone can make to have a good life. The questions in life someone can lead to answers that very well could give a better outcome to life. Those answers to the questions could provide small acts of kindness, helping someone through troublesome times. The Midnight Library addresses topics about despair and regret, but through tough times, the smallest acts of kindness have led the largest impacts to add more meaning to my life. Nora visits life where she dedicated herself to helping others via Second Chance Museum. This chapter dwells into the profound impact of a truism and the fulfillment that comes from positivity impacting the lives of those around us. For example, whenever I feel down in the dumps, I always find ways to make other people happy, to make me feel happier about the challenges I am going through in life. Nora Seed struggles to find her meaning in life and the direction she needs to take, feeling regret and despair all the time. Helping someone even with the smallest act of kindness can help them stepping outside the realm of death. The Midnight Library, the main character Nora Seed attempted suicide and has stepped into the domain of death. When Nora stepped inside the domain of death, she could see she had more meaning in life and wanted to live a good life. Nora Seed later sees the satisfaction of living and accepting for one being present for the life she was giving from seeing what death was. Value your present life. We often find ourselves dissatisfied with our life and how things are happening. We crave a new life or a different life, but we must understand that our present life is precious. and no life is like the one we are living. We should value our life and cherish it. For example, for a couple years, I used to be depressed and suicidal after dealing with a major anxiety problem I had at the time. Just as Nora sees what being on the verge of death is, I changed my perspective on life and could finally see the satisfaction of living. Stepping inside the realm of death, seeing what it means to be close to death can make someone realize that they have so much more for and live a happier life. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig offers observation into the sense someone's choice and the potential for change, even in the toughest times. The novel shows us the smallest acts of kindness can shift our perspective, leading us toward a meaningful and fulfilling life. Nora C's journey through alternate lives marks the values of finding purpose and accepting the present. The novel highlights the importance of understanding both positives of life and the inevitability of death is essential for living a good life. Thank you for listening to my exploration of life's meaning through the lens of the Midnight Library by Matt Haig and the philosophies of Albert Camus and Jean-Paul Sartre. I hope this podcast has provided you with the insights into how our choices and perspectives shape our lives and the importance of finding meaning and happiness in the present moment. By reflecting on my personal experiences and the philosophical concepts discussed, I aim to highlight the value of kindness, self-improvement, and cherishing the life we have. Remember, even in the toughest times, small acts of kindness can make a significant impact and help us find fulfillment. I appreciate your time and attention.